Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mindset, Money, Success. And I'm your host, Loraine Marshall. And in today's podcast, a title which is The Phoenix Strategy, Rising from the Ashes of Financial Setback. And this episode will focus on transforming your mindset around past financial challenges, establishing a simple forward-looking plan. First, the mindset shift, permission to start over. Second, practical strategy, the zero-based restart. And third, new beginning, taking confident action. Well, first, I have a short promotion for school.
Hello, it's Loraine here. And before we get into today's podcast, let me tell you about school. It's the all-in-one platform that coaches, trainers and creators like us use to share content, engage our audience and build recurring revenue. Whether you're through free membership or paid subscriptions, think $10 to $50 a month or even high-ticket upsells. School makes it stupidly simple. There's highly engaged communities, no more ghost towns. Charge monthly or keep it free, you decide. Zero hidden fees. It's just $99 a month after your first 14-day free trial, and you can cancel at any time. Unlimited members, courses and content, all with mobile app to keep your community connected. And the best part, you own the relationship. No algorithms burying your posts. Just your people, your content, your revenue. Are you ready to build your empire? You can grab a free trial and I'll drop the link in the show notes or below the video. Let's get you paid for what you already know.
So let's look at the Phoenix strategy. Maybe you feel like you've lost years. I know I have. Maybe you look at your bank account and think, where did all the money go? If you're a woman over 40 who's had a massive financial setback, a divorce, a death of a partner or spouse, a discard, the sudden termination of a relationship, or maybe a business failure, a career pause, it can feel like your world as you know it has just been shattered into tiny pieces. At 64 years, I have experienced all three relationship situations, which I term the 3 Ds of relationship endings. I'm here to tell you that recovery isn't about where you were and what you've lost financially. It's about redefining your enough. I've been there. I started a property management business back in 2005 from the ashes of someone else's failure. So in this episode, we're talking mindset shifts. We're giving you permission to let go of the past and giving you the zero-based restart, a practical 3-step skills and decisions audit, then action to build financial security and peace of mind on your own terms, starting right now. The mindset shift, permission to start over. Let's think about the power of enough. When we hit financial setbacks or even financial devastation, when we hit rock bottom, our emotional thinking will be fear and uncertainty. Our decision-making capacity will be screwed. Add into the mix emotional stress or trauma of any of the relationship endings I've spoken about, and what we have is a mix of emotional collapse, sadness, grief, depression, and even sometimes no will to live. I've talked about this before in the episode on emotional energy spiral and digging ourselves out of a black hole. So while we might not be fully recovered, we can take small steps forward with a mindset shift where we stop thinking of where you were and what you've lost. Let's give ourselves permission to start over. That starting point will be different depending on your financial needs in this moment. Ask yourself, what does true financial peace feel like right now? Forget the past numbers. What is your current enough? Instead, let's redefine success based on a feeling of security and peace starting today. Think of your situation as a setback, not a failure, but as a forced financial declutter. The past is gone, and the upside is you now have total clarity and the wisdom of experience. Second, practical strategy, the zero-based restart. Let me share the first business startup, student rentals in the northeast of England, back in the summer of 2005. My former partner, who I sadly lost in December of 2006, was working for a young entrepreneur doing property maintenance. He discovered that many landlords had lost thousands in rental income, and after speaking to 2 property owners who had 5 properties between them, the business was created out of an opportunity to help them. I had no idea how to run or manage property rentals. It didn't stop us from moving forward with the idea to help the landlords to get the properties rented out to the university students, and so the business was born. And we learned along the way, making mistakes and putting systems in place. The key takeaway here is my partner discovered the problem. Landlords out of pocket. Then he offered a solution, reliable management. My part in the business was to utilize online advertising with the creation of a website. That's the core of any successful business and the key to a zero-based restart. You could do the same by identifying a problem you know how to solve. Now, in the past 5 years of my life, I've been learning new skills. I did the digital pivot. I was monetizing my life experience by creating digital content. I self-published a book of my lived experience of post-separation abuse. I've written articles for blogs, started this podcast, did podcasts on other people's programs, found low-cost and free opportunities to gain certification in coaching. So it is possible to move from trauma to transformation. Let me ask you, have you got a wisdom bank? You can do an experience and skills audit. If you sit down and start thinking about what you know and have unconsciously mastered over the last 40 years, your past employment, hobbies, gardening, your love of cooking, or more creative pursuits, writing articles or poetry, or art and design. This is your unique wisdom bank where you can identify your skills, talent, and knowledge. These are the things that you can monetize, turning your knowledge and skills into cash in the online world. Leverage your expertise and turn it into shareable content. You can become a niche content creator. Platforms like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels that favor short form, high value content. Facebook Stories and Reels set in professional mode can become monetized content creation. There are people who seek solutions to problems and use these platforms like search engines, and not just for mindless scrolling. People search for help with recipes and cooking, gardening tips, how to live off-grid, investing, making money online, home decorating, health and wellness, all sorts of things. There are many ways to monetize. For example, via affiliate products and programs, offering consulting or coaching, or selling digital products. Income generation can happen quickly, often before a channel reaches the follower counts for monetization, simply by using your experience to solve a specific problem for a specific audience. This is the true zero-based approach, getting started with a low-cost launch. You most likely already have a camera, your mobile phone, and the knowledge. The only investment is time and consistency. You learn as you grow. You meet new people in the online space and even meet new people closer to home, as I discovered on my content creation journey. Third, new beginning, taking confident action. This is about using the clarity gained from the zero-based restart to fuel consistent, intentional movement towards your new financial goal, your enough. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience. The power of the skills audit, your resilience, your knowledge is your most valuable assets. Let's look at the decision audit. Success is a series of decisions, not a single finish line, but as a result of consistent small decisions made daily. It is not a big leap. So if you can focus on the power of a small step and plan your daily action in advance. Schedule them into a calendar. Then you will know what step you need to take and you can focus more clearly. Here is what you need to think about. Ask yourself, are the decisions you're currently making and the action you're taking every day leading you closer to or further away from the consistent monthly income that you've identified as your current enough? What are the decisions you need to make? What's the action you need to take? What are the steps you're going to follow? For example, you can choose to batch create your 7, 15, or 60-second short videos. Set one day in the week to focus solely on getting your content done. You can have a week's worth or a month's worth of content that you can schedule or post. What do you want to achieve in the next 90 days? What are your goals? When we can get clear on these achievements and goals, it's easier to know what actions that we should be taking on the journey to get there. Now, here is my tip to help you move ahead. You could use AI as your digital mentor. You can have a problem solver in your pocket. Even when you have your skills and decision audits and you've made a start, you've planned out your schedule and started the creation process, blocks and uncertainty will pop up. For example, it might be, I don't know what my niche is, or how do I word this difficult client email? This is where AI becomes your digital mentor. Apps and websites like Gemini, Google, Notebook LM, Perplexity can be used not as a source of answers, but as a source of clarity and guidance. Acting as a free business mentor. Now, here is a prompt example that I discovered in a short training boot camp just a week ago. I've tracked my time for the past 2 weeks. Here are my notes. Paste the time tracking notes. Based on my biggest goal for the next 90 days of enter the goal and my main offer of enter the offer, analyze which activities move me closer to consistent enough months and which were time wasters and what patterns you see. Suggest 3 to 5 changes to use my time more effectively. Now that's a powerful prompt. Here's another, overcoming a block. I am a 45-year-old woman starting a consultant business based on my 11 years of property management. I need 3 ideas for a 60-second TikTok video explaining why digital systems are key for landlord profit. Or refining your enough. I have identified that I need to make, enter the goal, a month consistently to feel secure. What are 3 realistic income streams I could build using my skill in whatever business or niche? So you could try using AI with your own prompts to help you with these challenges or brainstorming sessions. I have found AI useful for research and for exploring new topics. And that brings us to the end of our journey on the Phoenix strategy. Remember, you are not defined by past setbacks. You are defined by decisions you make right now. And hopefully we're not in that low vibrational energy anymore. And we don't have the fear and the uncertainty, the grief and the sadness that makes our decisions screwed. So your challenge is to use the skills and decision audit I've covered. And don't forget to use AI as a digital mentor like Gemini, Google to help you find clarity and overcome the blocks when you feel unsure. Thank you so much for joining me on Mindset Money Success. If this episode resonated with you and you know another woman over 40 who is in the process of rebuilding her life and finances, please share this episode with her. And be sure to revisit our past episodes on steps to reclaim your emotional power or emotional energy spiral. Archives are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, or rate the podcast, and join us next week for another episode of Mindset, Money, Success. Bye for now.